Aloha from Hawaii. Give you a little quick view of the yard. It's a beautiful day, a little bit rainy right now, but beautiful and gorgeous as always. Very blessed to be here for the time being. That may be changing soon. A lot of people's lives are changing right now. Thank you to Swaru, Yasi, and Aneka, and Gosha, and Robert, and Dale, and to all the beings who are playing a part in this community, bringing this community together. They're just, we can feel so alone at times, thinking that we're the only ones on the planet that think the way we do and see things the way we see them. And there are a lot of topics to address, and people have done a really good job, I think, covering the bases. The atrocities that are going on in the world are obviously not acceptable, just in any sense of the word. And waking up to a lot of this deception and distortion and just pure evil has been, for all of us who are sensitive, feeling, loving beings, just a horror. Really, really difficult. And to attempt to live our lives, continuing to wake up and attempting to learn more and tap into more of our gifts and abilities, and knowing and feeling like we've been stopped at every turn. It's been really frustrating. So yes, absolutely, on the bigger scale, the things that are going on this planet are not acceptable, as I said. On a personal level, attempting to be the beings that we came here to be, attempting to still live life and have relationships and function in the world in a slave system where we know that it's not right, and having that inner conflict of knowing we still live in 3D and need to put food on our table and a roof over our head and have the ability to move and travel and go where we need to go to continue our unfolding. It's been really challenging. I worked for a decade as a massage therapist and took on a lot from people and ended up sick, as many of us do, and have found my way through that. And just really grateful for the blessing of being here in Hawaii, in paradise, somehow manifesting this, and a partner who has supported me so I haven't had to work and could go deeper within and continue my studies and attempt to take care of my health. It's been a real blessing, and it's been extremely challenging because most of the world around us, it seems, are not awake to a lot of this. And what I'm realizing is so many people's brains just don't work the way ours work. And so trying to have relationships and trying to function within families and just live life, trying to be who we are and express ourselves, and it's been challenging. And being, the kind, loving, compassionate beings that we are, many times we find ourselves at crossroads with our relationships and with all of the blessings and all of the gifts. We have to just really look at ourselves, and it's difficult because things we may need to break away from, things that we've gotten ourselves into, paradigms and belief systems and situations we've gotten ourselves into not ideal, not what we might have dreamed or hoped. We kind of tiptoe around our own feelings, but around the feelings of others as well, who don't understand things the way that we do, and who many of them don't want to know, don't want to hear what we have to say, because it's too much. It's too difficult, it's too challenging, it's too much to take in, with all of the things that we take into consideration just living this life, with our health and our jobs, and like I say, our relationships. And there are just so many things on people's plates that, one person can only handle so much, I think. And so being in partnerships where, we're working as teams and we're attempting to bring different things to the table. My partner bringing home the money, and me trying to keep us healthy and feed us and, take care of the house and the dogs. And, it's a team effort. But one of the hardest things, I think, is that we're limited. We've been limited. We've been blocked. We've been suppressed. And trying to function with people who aren't willing to communicate on the levels that we need, aren't willing to do the healing that perhaps they need to do or would benefit from doing. Just feeling so stuck and stagnant in a world that just thinks differently and is programmed so differently. It's really tough to get through some of this, to know how to proceed. So I think my biggest request right now is for us to be freed from the blockages, from seeing, hearing, knowing, understanding, from being able to tap into our gifts and talents and abilities. It's not acceptable that we've been so blocked. It's not acceptable that we've been paired with others who are really not serving our highest good, who are not supporting us in ways that are helping us to expand, and vice versa. I mean, there's only so much we can do to try and get others to expand, but if they're not willing, then it becomes really frustrating. So to be able to pair us up with others of like mind, and to be able to inspire one another and support one another in the kind of more multi-layered ways that we need as more expanded beings, to challenge one another, to learn from one another, to be able to communicate on a higher level and learn and practice that communication, and just not feel so stagnant in our lives trying to function with human beings that have been dumbed down, that have been repressed, that have been almost frozen. To try and function in that small way, in that limited way, is just so incredibly frustrating, because we know there's so much more. And we need access. We need access to those parts of ourselves, and to that knowing and understanding and ability that will help us to progress, regardless of whether we're here to save the world or not. We're here to expand our own consciousness. And nobody has the right to stop that. Nobody has the right to block that. I really appreciated the recent video where Gosha was talking about what Svaru said about beyond, I think it was 7D, how it really doesn't matter where we come from, because beyond 7D, it's pure consciousness. There's no polarity, there's no locality. So we're basically just dealing with consciousness and thought, and So yes, absolutely, there have been times when I've wanted to know who I am, where I'm from. I feel like I've visited a lot of places, and perhaps I've been around for quite a while, bopping about the universe. But I'm not even really sure that matters, because I feel like I want to blaze the path for others to follow out of here, out of this 3D reality, to embody that awakening where we realize that we have power over this reality. We have power to transcend the matrix. We have that power, and to be able to actually do it and blaze that trail and merge beyond polarity, into the oneness, into that place where we're free of the suffering, and we're free of the distortion, and we're free of the confusion. I mean, all beings should have that right to connect with their higher selves and their higher knowing, and be able to see from a perspective, a wider range of perspectives that really show us who we are, what we have the ability to do, and who we have the ability to be, and where we have the ability to go. Everybody should have that right, and the suffering that's happening on the planet with people who are waking up and people who are not, it's just not acceptable. These people are suffering, we are suffering, and it's very real to us, and it's not okay, and our hearts break, and regardless of whether people want to wake up or not, they need that connection of divine love and light to fill them and soothe them and heal them and help them through whatever's left for us in our lives on this planet and beyond. We deserve and need that connection to the higher frequencies, the higher knowing, our higher selves, so that we can be guided with clarity and free ourselves from that has kept us so limited and in so much suffering and in so much delusion. So on a personal level, for myself and for all beings, we have the right to connect with our higher selves. And if we could see it more clearly from the higher perspective, we would not be choosing what we've chosen. We would not be creating what we've been creating. So I choose for myself and others to consciously connect to my higher self and my higher knowing and my higher beingness, and to have the ability to transcend what has gone on here for myself and for all of us. And I have to go. So, aloha.